Right, I think I've solved the issue. Dumb fuck. Right, now, let's try that again, shall we? Sorry, gentlemen. Right, let me quit there. Hopefully now you can hear me. I forgot to unmute my PlayStation account, PlayStation settings. So those people that watch the Moaning Show, just send them links and shit. Again, 4.5 minutes. I do apologise. I'm thick as shit. I mute online when I'm chatting because obviously I'm a big fat bastard and don't breathe properly. So I'll just wait for a few of you to rejoin, so to speak, and hopefully we will be up and running. You would not believe the amount of work this has taken to get into this. It really is stupidly, ridiculous, the amount of work that this has taken. We'll just wait a couple more minutes. Hopefully you can hear me now. Hopefully you can give us a indication of whether you can hear me or not. You should be able to hear me now. I've unmuted my microphone. God bloody ridiculous. We may be getting our first Moaning Show live. I promised it on Facebook Live, but from the PS4, which is where I'm recording this from, there is no option to share directly to Facebook Live, which is really fucking stupid, but never mind. I'm ready with me fluid. For those of you disappointed, I'm not a big drinker. I'm a tremendous lightweight when it comes to drinking. I like Budweiser, bit of Carlsberg now and again, but I much prefer the taste of soft drinks. My chosen tipple at the moment is Pepsi Max. Do like a bit of milk. I'm just waiting for the normal comments to come through and shit like that. So like I say if say if you can hear me or whatever. It's very early days as far as this broadcasting on PS4 is concerned. I've had to download a fucking app on my phone just to mute the fucking shit music that's playing. It really is fucking annoying, the amount of crap I've had to put up with. So yeah, this is me. This is, I would use HCD 01, but I mean obviously people are watching this are either my subscribers or on Facebook. Hopefully this has got through. It is difficult with next to no fucking money to back me up at the moment. There are huge plans afoot for later on in the year, but obviously not for the channel. So I'm hoping to see a few comments on whatever. Obviously I'm representing the shirt that I should have wore yesterday at work, but obviously I was at work all bloody day yesterday. That's no disrespect to work or whatever, because I don't know who's watching. I have no idea who's watching. So we'll get on with it in a few minutes. I've got no standby music. Like I say, this is a test stream. We may as well call it the full-on stream. So I'll give it another 30 seconds and then get going. I'm hoping that you viewers can hear me, I need some sort of, just mention it on Facebook. I've got Facebook open on my phone anyway, so just try and, if someone could let me know if you can hear me, because I'm not going to blab on, you know. I'm not going to blab on all morning. I don't actually have very good lighting in my room at the moment, which is where this is being broadcast from. You can see me collection of belts and like posters and shit behind me. Yes, I am a geek. I'm a great big fat geek. I'm like the guys from Big Bang Theory without the intelligence. Thank you very much. Right, okay then. Right, well, we are going to get on with the show. And the first thing that I have to talk about is the mere fact that this should have happened 2 weeks ago. 2 fucking weeks ago. And it didn't because of the first thing I'm going to moan about, and that is fucking snow. I fucking hate snow. When you're the age between say oh I don't know, say like 3 years old to 10 years old, snow is fucking amazing. You know, you're building up snowmen, you're chucking snowballs at each other, hopefully not yellow ones, because that's fucking disgusting, even in my book. But snow really gets my fucking goat these days. It gets in the way, it's fucking annoying. It either snows you in or snows you out. I was stuck at work for I was stuck at work from Thursday morning at 8 o'clock right through to Saturday night at 9:30 because I had to stay behind and help out some stuff at work. But the really fucking annoying thing is with snow, yeah, it's brilliant, nice, you know, and everything. But the absolute worst fucking thing is when it starts to melt, but it doesn't get hot enough to melt everything, which means you're fucking sliding about all over the place, and it's just dangerous. It's 100% dangerous. And another fucking thing as well is that people panic buy. There's a guy on Facebook that I follow that posts a picture of someone said, "I've just seen a snowflake." This was a meme, by the way. "I've just seen a snowflake and it's Armageddon." And he's got like 4 bottles of milk, 4 like big bottles of milk and fucking 6 or 7 loaves of bread. It's fucking ridiculous. People buy as if it's the end of the world, and all it is a little bit of fucking snow. And the absolute worst fucking thing about snow is the fact that if you do all of this panic buying, it's over with within like a day and a half. And do you know what the absolute worst thing is? I know I keep saying it. We are scheduled for more snow. We are scheduled for more snow as we speak. As we speak in my region. I'm broadcasting this from Devon in the southwest of England, and we are broadcast more snow. We have an amber weather warning where we are today, but fortunately somebody's got nearly half a week off of work, so you know you can't complain about that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just really fucking annoying when it's like, oh fuck, it's not. And the funny thing is, you read on like social media like Facebook and Twitter and everything like that, and then there's these people that are saying, oh no, there's another lot of big snow coming. And yesterday, seriously, I looked at my phone's temperature and it said 10 degrees. I was sweating my bollocks off. As you can see from the size of me, I'm not a small lad. And the apps, you know, it's just really fucking annoying. Yeah, people, they say don't go. And the weather fucking reports. You see these poor sons of bitches standing out in the middle of a blizzard or whatever, specifically the last time the snow came down about 2 weeks ago. And you were stuck. These guys were literally stuck. The water was flowing with the river, yeah, and this bloke was standing there freezing his todgers off, and he's like, like that, and it's just so fucking annoying. The snow is like the absolute worst thing weather-wise. Rain, not a problem. Wind, not a problem. Wind and rain, yeah, can be a pain in the arse sometimes, especially when it blows in your fucking face and you're like, like that. But, you know, it's nothing to worry about. It's a bit of snow, you know. But these weather reporters, you know, they're holding their furry fucking knob fucking contraptions, right? And you can tell they've been sent out by local producers. And these local producers are sitting comfortably in the warm behind the desk going, roll that fucking footage, you bunch of bastards. And there's these guys and girls sometimes that are covered in, they're like Stan and Cartman from fucking South Park. And they're all like, oh, yes, so the weather's, yeah, well, yeah, that's, you know, that's just being cheeky. But we had about, ooh, I'd say, about that much snow, you know, because it covered absolutely everything, including the vehicles at work. No one could get in, no one could get out. And then, but one thing I do appreciate is that the local drivers who drive them fucking 4x4s, they may as well be tanks as fucking size of them sometimes. But they did start to ferry people back and forwards towards work. You know, I live in the middle of fucking nowhere as far as I'm concerned, you know. But yeah, people were ferrying people to and from work eventually, you know. But by the time I got home, it was practically melted anyway. So, but that's that. So that's fucking snow. Again, really fucking annoying. Great when you're a kid, pain in the arse when you're not. Oh, and another thing as well is when the people on the radio and the TV reports, you know, people on the radio and TV reports are basically saying, oh yeah, you know, stay indoors if you can, don't travel if you can. I work in a care home, that's all I'm going to say, and the residents of the care home need your help. So basically you've got to get in when you absolutely can. So at the same time, you know, it's all fucking, you know, you can't really do anything. I'm just checking the Facebook comments. Fucking comments on Facebook, you're a grateful bunch of bastards. But anyway, so that's a little added bonus that I had to put in. Now, again, the first thing on my agenda is actually apologising for not doing this a couple of weeks ago. I've just explained the reason why. So again, I do apologise for that. And again, this is more of a testing stream than it is. Excuse me. Than it is. So again, right now, I'll go on to my first item on the agenda, and that is one of the most annoying things to come out of the last general election. Again, I'm trying to connect everything. I do apologise for any one of those beeps, but stuff like this is supposed to. It's all very relatively new. I've done videos in the past. You know, it's all like that. But the first thing I have to complain about is Brexit. Now, I don't know about the rest of you that are watching, or, you know, I'll post this video on YouTube because only the most loyal fan is watching at the moment. But the thing about Brexit is because I'm fucking bored shitless of it. Now, I will freely admit to you right now that I voted for Leave when it happened a couple of years ago. Now, the only reason I voted for, well, two reasons I voted for Leave. One, to give a bit more control back to our fishermen. And the second reason was I thought that we were going to get a ton of money by not giving the EU so much in terms of the country and how it's run and how it's all sorts and like, you know, all sorts of fucking crap like that. So basically, what I'm saying is that there is too much there's too much emphasis on Brexit in the news. Every fucking day the main bit of news is, oh, today in Brexit negotiations haven't taken well. And before it all fucking happened as well, we were all bored fuckless of it. It's like, yes campaign, no campaign, leave, stay, remain, whatever the fuck they were going to call it, right? And the thing is, we were all bored shitless of it anyway. We've had 3 big votes in this country, in the UK, in the last, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years. And we're all bored as fuck, trudging down to our like polling stations, all sorts of shit like that, and it's boring waiting to fucking it's boring waiting for these fucking people, old farts behind desks who've got nothing better to do in their lives, you know, to sort through a load of fucking paper, yeah, and your name is, and you sit behind this fucking thing or stand behind this petition that means you can not be seen while you're writing it out, and we're still doing fucking paper and pen votes, for fuck's sake. We're in the 21st century. We should be fucking dialing shit up on our fucking phones, using the internet. We're getting bored as fucking shit of this crap every fucking day, you know. And that was before all of this shit started. The vote, I think, was something like 48% Remain and 52% Leave, or something like that. I haven't done my research. Those of you that have watched the Moaning Show in the past, you know what I'm talking about. I don't do my fucking research when I'm doing for this unless I'm really interested in the subject. But the overall aspect of Brexit is that it's a load of people in a different country telling us what we want, you know, how we're allowed to run our country and things like that. And it's all from these it's all from Brussels in Belgium, you know, and there's these twats that have never even set foot in Britain or in any other country apart from Belgium and Brussels, you know, and they're the ones that dictate what we do with our commerce, what we do with our produce, what we do with our, you know, and how far out we're allowed to fish. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, a load of fuckers in Brussels are telling people in fucking Scotland and all, you know, who fish for certain fish and how much milk farmers are allowed to use or how many cattle they're allowed to have on a farm. Fuck you. How fucking dare you? These people will never set foot in Britain, never alone England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales or whatever, right? And they're making declarations about how we are allowed to do X amount. Fuck off. Complete 100% fuck off. There's nothing worse than being told what to do if you have those restrictions. And that is why the British public voted for Leave. It was hardly anything to do with the amount of so-called illegal immigrants and shit like that, you know? It was nothing to do with that. The majority of it was to say, right, well, I'm in charge of my own destiny, and that is what we wanted out of this fucking thing. The worst thing at the moment is the mere fact that it's the first piece of news on any bulletin. Okay? It's like Brexit negotiations today have increased the chances of blah 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 blah. We want out. You know, the British public said we want out, and we want out relatively quickly. It's like, what? What? And they said as soon as we got through, it's like, well, hang on a minute, what the bloody hell? What the bloody hell? And it's we're waiting for this thing to go through so that we have control over our own so-called borders and all that sorts of shit. But the worst thing is, nothing's happening. Absolutely nothing's happening. Our political leaders are trying to negotiate like best possible business practices and shit like that. Another thing we're trying to do is get the best possible deals in terms of like, oh, we'll have all of your bananas, for example, and you can have our selection of tea or shit like that. But the thing is, we've got America in the background. Now, I know that's not an attractive proposition, because technically America is like the big bully in the school play yard, you know, at break time or at play time during lessons, right? And America's like the, oh yeah, at the time, right, it's all the bully's going up to the kid who gets bullied, right, and goes, yeah, guess your fucking lunch money, you know. And Britain, by comparison, is one who goes, yeah, guess your lunch money in the background, you know. So with Brexit, we don't have to worry about the if it all falls through, because eventually, you know, we'll get all the deals we need with other fucking countries. We're trying to negotiate deals, all sorts of shit like that. And the worst thing is we're bored fuckless of it. I know I am. You know the word news. You know the word news, right? The first three letters of that are N-E-W. And I apologise if everything's gone. I've just got a message on my screen to say that the quality isn't good enough to broadcast. If you can still hear me, great. Don't worry too much if you can't. Like I say, this is a bit more of a test stream, but I'll try and merge it with the actual thing itself. But yeah. The worst thing is the fact that this is every single day. The same news. I mean, news is supposed to be new news, if you see what I mean. It's fucking boring as fuck. But anyway, but this shit's going to go on for 2 more years. Yeah, I completely agree, Grapevine. I don't know about you, but the British public, I mean, the first time I put on the news every day and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know, Brexit, Brexit, Brexit. In my opinion, boring, fucking boring, 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 you know? But anyway, that's basically Brexit. So for those just logging into the stream or coming into the stream, thank you very much. My name is HED01. And you're watching the Moaning Show live. I do have a few more videos on YouTube. I say a few more, as over 40 or so. It's just a little bit of an experiment, just to explain what I do. I moan, bitch and complain about things that are pissing me off, and this is my first attempt at a live streaming show. I have got no idea. I know it's next to bottom of the barrel, but I'm happy with it, one-eyed cat. But thank you for asking. I just wanted something that can play Star Trek Online. I'm a bit of a old snake. Don't get me started on Metal Gear. Seriously, I love Metal Gear, but I'm gonna flat out refuse to buy. Well, I can go on to that actually. Bit of a bonus topic. Thank you to Boa Constrictor Yamaha for the last comment. Old snake. You're probably not talking about Metal Gear, but I can talk about that. Konami, or Konami, however you want to pronounce it, got rid of Hideo about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when Metal Gear Solid 5 released. And they are trying to bring forward a new generation of... I don't mind snakes, they're fine. Yes, I can play... change the subject, just looking at the comments. I can play Star Trek Online on PS4, and I do. At the time, it wasn't out on PS4, and I just wanted a better computer to play with better graphics. But going back to Metal Gear Solid, and the release of Hideo Kojima from Konami, so that basically meant anything released after then had no stamp of official approval from its own creator. Metal Gear is an intellectual property from Konami, and they recently released Metal Gear. They recently released Metal Gear Survive, which is basically a zombie game. Zombie game, construction game, you know, just bringing all sorts of parts together, and the idea is interesting, you know, because there's a premise of making certain bits and bobs and, you know, trying to get back to your home base. The story is interesting. I've watched gameplay from people like Angry Joe Show and stuff like that, and it looks appealing, but only for about 10-15 minutes, and the gameplay is very similar. But the problems with Metal Gear Survive are you have certain things you have to do. You have to refill your health, your hunger, your thirst, and your oxygen. You know, stuff like that, which is interesting gameplay elements, I'll grant you that. But they've taken out any mention of, or specifically any way that you would want to play this game, including the main character, Snake. Yeah, this is set exactly after Ground Zeroes and before Metal Gear Solid 5. You get sucked up into a interdimensional portal, which basically means any and all supernatural elements are brought in instead of the main storyline with any characters and anything like that. Next, you have to do all of this random shit, and it's not really the gameplay that is the problem. The gameplay was one of the huge talking points of Metal Gear Solid 5. But they've taken all credibility away from the franchise by releasing their creator of the IP. 2, this story makes no fucking sense whatsoever. 3, they believe that this is the way to go with the franchise, rather than carrying on with the storyline maybe after Metal Gear Solid 4, or maybe making sure that there is a specific amount of, you know, things to go through. They're not remaking the original Metal Gear that came out in 1987. They're not making the original Metal Gear 2, which came out in 1990 or something like that. No. What they're making is a crap zombie shooter game. Because from the gameplay that I've seen, I've not seen many gunplay. I've not seen much gunplay. I've not seen like heads explode with precision sniper rifle shots. So all it is a bloke with a stick going, you know, and it's, oh, fucking hell. But they're not continuing on with the main storyline or rebooting the storyline, which is what I thought they were going to do. This is a quick cash grabbing. But with Metal Gear Survive, the stuff that Angry Joe showed, stuff that other people showed, you have to pay, right? Get this, you have to pay extra money for extra character slots should you want to play the game slightly differently. You get one character slot. Just fucking one. There's space for 4. It's like having the amount of saves on a video game, right? You'd say like you play games with your brother or your sister or your dad or whatever, right? So you're playing your game, yeah, you say 60, 70 hours in or whatever, and you still like playing it. Brilliant stuff. Go for it, yeah? Konami are charging you extra fucking money, right, to have another character slot. So in other words, if your brother wants to play, yeah, either he fucks up your save, or your sister, you know, they want to play a game or whatever, they play the game that you're playing, oh, yeah, I'll have a go at that. Pay us some more money. Apparently they're also charging for fucking weapon slots as well. You get like 2 weapons, and if you want to buy, you know, use a different one or another different attachment or something, you've got to pay more fucking money. It's fucking disgraceful. And the worst thing is that this will bring in other fucking developers to do the same. Like, I don't know, BioWare or fucking, you know, Rockstar. Any one of these could do this. Metal Gear Solid now, or Metal Gear, is not a AAA franchise anymore, if Konami are pulling this shit. But they may influence other developers to do the same. Look at the controversy surrounding Star Wars Battlefront 2 from Electronic Arts. And it's, oh, what the fuck are they thinking? It's like, yeah, it's like, you're going to play our game. We are not going to give you the 2 most famous characters from that franchise to begin with. And you're going to pay us a fuck ton of money for the privilege of playing the game. And not only that, the money you pay to play a game is basically for the license to play the game. So you're paying out your 50, 60 quid or $60 or $70 or whatever, and that's just the normal editions, so to speak. What you are paying for is the right to play the game. You are paying for the license. But then all these game companies at the start of the thing, they have the agreement section as soon as you boot up the game, before you play. So before you can play any fucking amount of like shooting or running or jumping or talking or whatever in the game, before you see even a second of the game, you have to go through terms and conditions, right? Now, in those terms and conditions, yeah, we all agree to fucking everything. It's like, you're going through it and it's like blah 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 blah. We want to play the fucking game. We don't want a novel to read, right? And another thing, these terms and conditions could literally say anything, right? It could say you must stand on your head while, like, twisting your left nipple while shooting your partner or the person you live with in the face with an air rifle. You don't fucking know, do you? And the loading times as well. What the fuck is going on there? Holy fuck. You put in a game, right? And, oh, another thing in a minute. You put in a game and you set all your options, you go through to the game, say like if it's a shooter or whatever, or, you know, you turn it to the difficulty you want, or you turn it to the amount of players that you want, or if you're playing online or whatever, if one person's internet is not as good as everybody else's, that slows everyone fucking down. But again, when you're putting everything through, loading times, they're fucking atrocious. And sometimes, when you're playing a game that you can get done relatively quickly, the loading times are more, you know, they take up more time than the fucking game itself. So like if your objective in the specific mission is to kill 10 soldiers, right? You kill your 10 soldiers and then it gets more fucking loading. It's not like the old days where you just plug the fucking cartridge in or whatever and it's like boom, boom, and you're gaming within 30 seconds. I miss the old days. It scare me sometimes because it could say you have to play this game between 8 PM and 2 AM and you cannot play anymore. That's fucking bullshit. And how people, one of the conditions in nearly every game these days is you must not modify this game in any way. It's like, it's ours to do with what we wish. Fuck off. You remember the old days where you put in your old games consoles like the NES and the Super Nintendo and stuff like that, where you had your cheat cartridges or something like that. I've been buying old retro stuff for fucking years, right? And I've also been buying Game Genies, Action Replays, stuff like that. And these days, that's unheard of. It's like, you must not modify this game in any way. Fuck off. We have to agree to that. Now, I'm not a tremendous fan of online gaming, but I do sometimes online game. But I don't like the idea of going into a game, getting shot in the head by a really good player that's been playing it for fucking months, right? And you're just going into it. You come in and... Sorry, you spawn in, that's the term for it. And then you get shot by a sniper, and then you don't know where he is or whatever, and then... Would you like to respawn? Yes, of course I'd like to respawn. I want to carry on playing the game and try to get a bit better at it. So you respawn, and then those more experienced players know where the respawn points are, right? So they're hiding behind a trash can or whatever. You get shot in the head within 10 seconds of respawning. So you get no fucking experience whatsoever. There should be a numpty buffer or something like that, right? So that new players can get a little bit more experience, because how do you get better when BAM and you're out, right? And then all of a sudden you get BAM as soon as you spawn back in. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. How are you supposed to improve in a game when you can't play the fucking thing? But anyway, that's and the thing I was going to bring up was Day 1 DLC, downloadable content, right? You buy a game for 50, 60 quid, 50, 60 dollars, whatever, however much you pay for it. You get home on your games console, you put it in, or you buy the digital edition, you shove it on, right? And all of a sudden it says, blah, 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 update file, downloading. And it's like, 6 hours for a fucking update. A Day 1 update. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. So you can't play the game, not properly, for the first... You've been waiting for the game to come out, right? You put the game in and it says, now downloading an update. Fuck off. Give us some time to play the fucking game. Before saying that we can't play the game online, or we can't play with our friends or whatever. In the old days, you used to be able to play a game with your friends by passing them a second controller. Nowadays, you have to wait online for an update to say, yes, you can play this game with your friends. And that's if it's not fucked up. As you can see from my shirt, I am a huge WWE fan. I have been for 25 years nearly. And the latest game is full of shit. It looks fantastic. Because I'm moaning, bitching and complaining. Paris Mercy. So that is why new games aren't as good as the old days. Yes, there's some brilliant titles out. It's like I'm currently playing through Horizon Zero Dawn on PS4. Last of Us on PS3. From my avatar you can see, I'm a Ghostbusters fan. The Ghostbusters game on PS3, the first one with the original cast members, fantastic game. But even that had an update file or two. Annoying as fuck. But anyway, that's about it for video games. Now on to the next section of my my list of entities. Formula 1. I am a Formula 1 fan. You can see from the little poster behind me. Formula 1 is ill. It's sick. And it has been sick for about getting on for 20 years now. At the time I was a huge Michael Schumacher fan and Ferrari fan, so I was happy when he was winning titles and whatever. I was happy when Fernando Alonso beat him in the Renault. But Formula 1 is sick. And I will show you for why. Bear with me just a moment. This is a replica of Ayrton Senna's 1988 championship winning McLaren. Okay? Look how simple the aerodynamics are on that car. Okay? Flat front wings. Okay? They're on flat rear wings. This car is about as square as you could possibly get. Okay? It's a beautiful car. And even to this day, it is the most dominant car in Formula One history. Okay? These days, and I will show you another example. This is Sebastian Vettel's 2012 winning car that I have a replica of. The front section, there are bends and buckles and about 6 or 7 elements to each side of the front wing. A thin rear wing and all sorts of aerodynamic upgrades and shit like that. Brilliant car again. Not as good as the McLaren by any stretch of the imagination in terms of race performance and race victories. What is wrong with Formula One these days is that you cannot pass effectively without a gimmicked rear wing called the drag reduction system, or DRS, okay? And that is on a straight. Now, the old McLaren, obviously, was a dominant car, okay? So pretty much the same thing, pretty much the same thing as these days with the dominance of the Mercedes and, you know, sometimes the Ferraris. But you cannot have any non-artificial passing these days. I mean, it's all about management. It's not about racing. F1 is fucking boring these days. And I love Formula One. Okay? They need to get rid of this shit right here with, you know, 20 elements to the front wing and bring back the aerodynamics of this beauty. Because you will have non-artificial passing, racing, and you need to get rid of the restriction rules. 100 litres of fuel, okay, to last 100% of the race. Other forms of racing, MotoGP, IndyCar racing, so stuff like the Indy 500, World Rally Championship, all still fine, all still good, all still competitive in their own right. And anything like that. My favourite sport at the moment, apart from one other, is the British Touring Car Championship. I went to go see some of it last year, I'm going again this year, and it's so exciting because there's it's so fucking boring, F1 at the moment. Only one of say 4 drivers is going to win a race, maybe even 3. And in the British Touring Car Championship, they change everything nearly every race, right? The winner of race 1 is probably the best overall car, right? And then they put weight limits on the cars. So say like the winner of race 1 will get 75 kilos added to his car for the second race. So technically he should not win the second race unless they've got a magnificent setup for the car. And then that goes forward as well. The cars that run in from say 5th to 10th, and it's changed for this season, but that's neither here nor there, then get put into a draw for, you know, like the FA Cup balls, into a draw, and they pull out a car number, or a number, that is an equivalent to a placing in the previous race. That has the pole position for the following race, and so on and so on. Yeah, they have 3 races per meeting, and the rules state, or the rules are made up so that one car does not win every fucking race, like Lewis Hamilton, like Sebastian Vettel, to a lesser degree like Max Verstappen, right? If they had this sort of handicapping system, there would be more competitive racing in Formula One. Now, I know that's not the way that Formula One runs, but I don't give a shit. This is how to fix Formula One. You get rid of the fuel, tyre and engine restriction rules, you get rid of these turbocharged fucking Honda Jazzes in terms of power, right? You get rid of that. You bring back the naturally respirated engines. We're talking the like the V12s or V10s, V8s even, right? And you have like 3 litre fucking engines, because instead of sounding like that, you go like that. It even sounds more pathetic. You know what I mean? But now we have restrictions on the amount of engines used. McLaren, I grew up in Woking, where McLaren come from, okay? McLaren used to be good. They've been shit since they got rid of Lewis Hamilton, basically. Now, I agree Lewis Hamilton is a great driver. He's a 4-time world champion, probably going to win his 5th title this year. But the thing is that McLaren chose to be engine partners with Honda, and that's now gone to Toro Rosso, whatever, right? Last season you were only allowed to use 4 engine parts, or 4 bits of an engine all season, and then you incurred a penalty. By midway through the season, Fernando Alonso, McLaren's lead driver, used 7 of each near component, maybe 6 or 5 of the others. He took a 65 place grid penalty in one race. So in other words, he just started at the back. Yeah? And the penalties were unenforceable. Okay? Which basically means that it's an equivalent of doing 100 lines at school, but only doing like, I don't know, 40 of them. Because you run out of board to write them on. It's like, yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. But now they've restricted that to 3 engines for this year. Now, I grant it's a money-saving exercise, but it's fucking pointless. You've got to make 3 engines, or 3 engine parts, 3 bits of an engine, work for 20 or 21 races. It's not very realistic. Which basically means they're going to be racing less, and it's all to do with money saving. These engines they use in Formula 1 are about £20 million each. That's fucking ridiculous. Which means the smaller teams can't keep up. What a load of bollocks. So everyone's running at low revs, no one's going to be passing, and it's going to be boring as fuck. So you bring in the proper engines, you bring in the easier aerodynamics, so it encourages more passing, you know, easier passing. And don't get me started on this. Don't get me started on it. The fucking halo. Yes, safety is paramount in high-speed motorsport. I perfectly understand that. But you're basically bringing in a flip-flop to Formula 1. I've got mine here, right? Now, you could see mine there, disgusting as it may be, right? What they've done in Formula 1, they're enforcing that, basically, in front of the driver's head. So basically, the driver can barely see, you know, apart from one little bit there. So he's looking like that. Every car has this. And already, McLaren have released a sandal or a flip-flop with this looking like their new car. It's a fucking joke. And every car is going to look like this. And you're not going to be able to tell who's who when you're watching the fucking show. What a load of bullshit. And speaking of bullshit, it's on to our next category. We've got a few more to go. Arsenal Football Club. Believe it or not, I am actually an Arsenal Football Club supporter. Have been for a good long while. There's just one problem. They're shit. I've commented on not much has changed. Arsene Wenger is still the manager. God knows how. God knows how. Arsenal didn't even qualify for the Champions League for this year. And yet the board still kept him on. Why? Why is Arsene Wenger the manager of Arsenal Football Club? It's not Arsene Wenger FC. It's not Arsene All FC. It is Arsenal. And the worst thing is that nearly every other week we're losing an away game or whatever. Now, he is still in charge and probably will be for time immemorial, because no matter what he does, no matter what he loses in terms of matches, in terms of prestige, in terms of... The one thing that has saved Arsene Wenger in the past few seasons is winning the FA Cup. Okay? Now, with regards to that, we were knocked out in the third round. The first round that higher league teams were allowed into the tournament. Yet he still kept his job. Arsenal are currently doing relatively well in the Europa League, which is the second-rate European football competition. Yet he's still keeping his job. We're losing to teams that we shouldn't be losing to, you know, teams that... This is a team that went undefeated in 2003, 2004, okay? Undefeated. We did not lose a fucking game all year, apart from probably Champions League qualification. Yet he still has his job. Arsenal Football Club are supposedly a big team, okay? Now, the problem is that the board or owners of the club are out in America doing what they do, you know? They're out financing the other teams. And the owners of the football club are saying we need to be like Leicester City. Leicester City won the Premier League a couple of years ago, okay? And they had unparalleled success. Fantastic for them. We want to model our club on Leicester City. I've got two words for you. One's fuck, the other one's off. There is no ambition at Arsenal Football Club. We may be doing well in the Europa League, you know, the second-rate European competition. Doesn't do it for me. I will support Arsenal, you know, but it's difficult at times. We get mocked at, we get laughed at for not doing well in certain competitions, and it's like, what the fuck? Why aren't you doing well? We've got world-class players, or we did have world-class players, and the annoying thing is that it's boring watching disappointment in the fans' faces. We have a YouTube channel for fans, Arsenal Fan TV. Even if you are not a fan of football, if you are not a fan of Arsenal, I encourage you to watch it, because it's quite entertaining. It's one of the best things about being an Arsenal fan. Watching specific fans, just like I'm doing now, moan, bitch, complain, swear, curse, get pissed off about whatever, okay? Because it is really entertaining. You've got one dude on there called Troops, obviously it's not his real name, and he's one of these blokes that says like blood and fam, and if it's alright blood, isn't it? And it's just so entertaining watching these dudes speak, especially after we lose. It really is entertaining. And the other guy bleeds Arsenal. I don't bleed football. I've got more favourite sports. F1, touring cars, American football is higher on my list, you know. And wrestling's technically not a sport because it's fake. But at the same time, you know, you're spending out your money and everything. To answer your question, written in blood, these belts were about like, the one directly behind me was about £300, you know, something like that. I'm spending quite a lot on these things, but I've nearly completed my belt collection. I'll do a room tour eventually. But anyway, going back to Arsenal and stuff like that, it really is difficult to support a team with no ambition. And fans joke about our ambition. It's sort of like, oh, well, Arsenal can maybe buy a bacon sandwich when we used to be able to buy 3-course dinners. You know, it's exactly the same sort of thing. And when you are buying world-class players in transfer windows and you're making them look like complete dickheads basically. We bought Aubameyang in January, and he was scoring 1 goal every game, or a goal every other game. He's now scored 2 goals for Arsenal, and he's been with us a month, nearly 6 weeks. This is why we need a new manager. Now, I for one wouldn't mind someone like Diego Simeone from Argentina. He'd bring a bit more flair into the team, he'd bring a bit more passion, because when you get a goal scored, you know, every manager, especially Jurgen Klopp of Liverpool, it's like, fucking yes, goal, fuck you. Arsene Wenger, when we score a goal, it's like, or when we get a goal scored against us, he's sitting there like, he's waiting for the final whistle. He can't wait to get out of there. When other teams get a goal scored against them, they're like, for fuck's sake, you useless fucking bastards. And now Wenger's just like, I'm too old for this fucking crap. Where's me piss jug and the fucking dinner lady to give me a blowjob or something like that? You know, it's like, for fuck's sake, have some passion. I know you've been in the job fucking 20 years. I don't really care about that. You know, it's... Oh. But Arsenal will improve once Wenger goes, once the ball pull their fucking fingers out their arses and say, hang on a minute, we actually need to have ambition. Because without ambition, Arsenal will do at the best mid-table. We're about 7th or 8th now. That's how much I don't give a shit about football at the moment. Right, on to our next, I know this is going on for a long time, on to our next subject. Pay-per-view television. I blame Vince McMahon from WWE. Now, he didn't come up with the concept, but he did come up with, or he has been one of the pioneers of pay-per-view television. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It is pay-per-view television. You pay for what you want to watch and you watch it. Not a problem. A, if you've got the money, and B, if you have the capabilities of watching watching the television programs. I live in rented accommodation. This has restrictions on what I can do in terms of pay-per-view, and it also has restrictions in terms of satellite/digital TV. Now, with the added invention of the internet and all things considered like that, we do actually have more options these days, you know, streaming Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that. But the thing is, it's still pay-per-view television. I've just mentioned the past couple of subjects ago that I'm a big Formula 1 fan. The new owners have released a watch per month plan. Brilliant, fantastic. I'm all for it. Because I can afford it and I want to do it. Can I do it? No. Why? Because of Sky. Sky fucking television. Pay-per-view television. I'm all for spending £10 a month to watch the things that I want to watch, right? Sky want more than £10 a month. From what I can gather, from what little information that I have been able to accrue from colleagues at work and things like that, all of this shit from Sky means that the only country that doesn't get the option to pay X amount per month to watch stuff is the United Kingdom, Great Britain, England, which means I cannot watch what I want to watch until 2022, because Sky have a stranglehold on the contract and the viewing abilities of the British public until that time. Fuck. Now, I said that Formula 1 is boring. Yes, it is. Doesn't mean I won't watch it. This year is the last year for free-to-air Formula 1 coverage in terms of highlights and the occasional live race. Next year, it's all Sky. No free-to-air highlights whatsoever. And yet Sky are disallowing or they're blocking the abilities of the new owners of Formula One to allow us to watch it on a pay-per-view basis, like a Netflix subscription, like an Amazon Prime subscription. The fucking annoying thing is that this is happening to all television. Pay-per-view, it's like there's this new season of Game of Thrones coming on. Can most of us watch it? No. Why? Because of Sky fucking Television. Every single fucking new show that's advertised for Sky cannot be watched by the vast majority of the British public. Because it's not on the non-subscription service of Freeview. Freeview has a Sky channel. It's called Pick TV. It's crap. And this goes on to our next sort of subject, so I'll merge them into one. Free-to-air television. It's crap. We are paying a TV licence. We're paying a TV licence to the BBC for total shit. There is nothing I am interested in, or hardly anything I'm interested in. You see the Dalek over my left shoulder here? I'm a Doctor Who fan. I'm a geek. Like I said earlier, I'm the guys from Big Bang Theory without the friends, or without a lot of the friends, or the intelligence. Okay? Which basically means I am a geek. I'll sit at my computer watching YouTube for fucking hours. Because there's fuck all on that interests me. Doctor Who, yeah, we're going into a new era of Doctor Who. There's a woman Time Lord. Good luck to her. Not a problem. That's about all I'm interested in on the BBC right now. They are shit. They are shit, the BBC. They've lost the rights to live football. They've lost the rights to cricket. They're getting some back this year, you know? And the thing is that I'm not trying to sound pissed off or like non-diverse in any way, but how can you have as much passion for something if you're not interested in it? It's like, yeah, we got match of the day, that's it. And the horrible thing is that there's rumours of maybe 1 or 2 more years of Doctor Who and that's it. And then the worst thing is that free-to-air television is now becoming reality television. We're losing more and more stuff. Just earlier, being the geek that I am, I grew up with Robot Wars, okay? And it came back like 2 or 3 years ago with Dara O'Brien, right? And yeah, alright, it was nowhere near as good as the old days because there was less robot action. But the BBC have just announced they're cancelling it to make way for new shows. What are these new shows going to entail? Oh yeah, I know. Talent shows, talent contests, singing, dancing. And it's boring as fucking shit. What a load of bollocks. I mean, it's like, yeah, oh, this is celebrities. I mean, we've got 2 huge fundraising events every single year now. We've got the Children in Need in sort of like October, November time. And we have the so-called comic relief / sport relief thing. Comic and sport relief, they alternate year. So odd years you'll have comic relief, even years you'll have sport relief. Not a problem. Great idea. And the thing is, you've got all of these fundraising things, and yet the BBC can't really think about anything to do fundraising with apart from shoving celebrities in fucking high heels and fucking tutus and all sequins. It's, what the fuck? Sport relief, they're having people fucking dancing. What the fuck? Sport relief, go out and have cycle races or having you know, just fucking going through bits and bobs. Have a mini golf tournament or a 5-a-side football match, or you know, a selection of celebrities doing a mini Olympics or something like that. Not fucking dancing. You know, fucking what? That is not sport. Have them play a darts match or a tennis match or something. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get how celebrities doing the cha-cha-cha or the fucking tango is anything to do with sport. It's a pastime, dancing. You know, you don't get fucking sports stars from any other country doing a telethon, which is basically what these things are, to raise money, by doing this. It's fucking crap. And this is what free-to-air television is turning into. It's like, well, vote for your favourite to make sure they stay in the competition. Fuck the competition. This is all TV is now. You've got The Voice, you've got fucking Twat Factor, you've got and next fucking let's stay in a simulated jungle environment every fucking year. This is free-to-air television. Saturday nights, right? This is tonight, right? Saturday night, you get maybe a live sporting event, and then you get a movie like Indiana Jones or something. You get a variety show like Noel's House Party. Noel's House Party is fucking TV gold compared to the shit that's on now. I'd rather watch Mr. Blobby fall down 4 flights of fucking stairs rather than Simon Cowell going, oh no, you're a fucking wanker, I don't want you on my fucking show. What the... Oh, fucking free-to-air television. Is it any wonder why people subscribe to Netflix and shit like that? At least you can watch what you want rather than the fucking crap. I get it, death is promise. You know, I get it. There's fuck all to interest me. You know, the only bits of free-to-air TV in terms of the reality shit now that I'm interested in is when the fucking credits run at the end of the show. So at least it's over with. But that's about it for my list of things. I want to hear any viewer suggestions that you have from what you're pissed off with, apart from what I'm saying, of course. I will explain that this is entirely optional and say thank you for watching, but if anyone's got any suggestions about what they are annoyed with, and if it interests me, I'll go through any comments that anyone wants to go through. So for the time being, I thank you very much for watching. It's been over an hour. I do appreciate anyone that has made a comment or has watched up until this point, and I do apologise for the first few minutes of sound. I did forget to unmute my microphone. But again, thank you for watching. Any questions and comments, feel free. I mean, I've got quite a few wrestling belts. My F1 car collection is pretty big. I get the magazine that comes through, so... But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll just wait for questions and comments. I will say that I will try to do this again, I don't know, when I get a Saturday off or something like that. My work in the care home obviously has to take priority, and it's not every weekend that I can get off. It is actually snowing outside, but not very hard. I don't think it's laying just yet. This time I'm home, and despite any admissions anyone's got, I will sign off in about a minute if I don't get any questions or comments to say, you know, complain about this, complain about that. But as I keep on saying, this is done on very little budget at all, if any at all. The only thing that I'm paying for is the internet to stream it, and of course the only thing that I'm obviously the electricity as well to pay for it, to power it. So anyway, I'll wait another minute or so. But that's what I've got in terms of the things that I'm annoyed about. Basically, this is what the Moaning Show is. It's a platform for me to air my grievances on. It is something to vent my frustrations out as. And I used to do it once a week. But with the job at the care home, it takes up a heck of a lot of time. You know, I'm there for 12 hours a day sometimes, and it is rather tiring. So I don't have the will to do it, and I don't certainly have all of the time in the world to do this anymore. But maybe if I can get like 1 free day a week, and then putting out, you know, content that I am interested in to, you know, speak about stuff. So another little bit of time, another 30 seconds or so. Again, thank you very much for watching, those that have. Search on YouTube for The Moaning Show for a past broadcast that I've done. Hopefully this will be a bit easier from now on, and obviously I won't mute my microphone on my PS4 camera. But that's about it from me, HCD01, or those of you that know me know obviously who I am. And have a look on YouTube for my previous videos. I do have a good 50 or so. And I probably have moaned about the majority of the subjects that I moaned about today, but this is a new experience. I'm trying something new, and hopefully it's not been horrible for all of you. So I will be posting this to YouTube after I'm finished, but it may take a while. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you hopefully in a couple of Saturdays' time. Thank you very much indeed.